Hey folks, welcome to part 3. Here we're going to jump right in to this table. All right, so this video won't be very long because I'm going to ask you to pause it a lot when you're actually doing the work, and then we'll just kind of check it together. Okay, so take a look at this type of table, and we'll first just talk about what kinds of things we're being asked for and how we know them, and then I'll give you a chance to fill it in. So here we have element name, atomic symbol, atomic number, group number. Remember, group is columns, and period, which is row. And then we're looking at the number of electrons in the n equals 1 energy level, number of electrons in the n equals 2 energy level, and number of electrons in the n equals 3 energy level. And finally, the total number of electrons. And there's not very much to this table. For example, the first one, all it says is He, but that is enough to fill the whole thing in. So let's work on the first row and then pause and come back. Okay, so He, and I've included the top of the periodic table here. So we see He is helium, atomic number 2, group number 8A, but it's period 1. Okay, so helium is kind of the exception, remember? It has 2 electrons in n equals 1, and then that's it, right? Because atomic number 2, 2 protons. So one what you might want to work through this table, not necessarily in order. You might want to jump to that there are 2 total electrons, and so we know that it must be 0 and 0 here. Okay, take a look at row 2. Actually, hold on. There we go. Okay, now let's do row 2 and pause it and come back. All right, so from here, there's a couple approaches. One might be to look at the total number of electrons, which is 2 plus 8 plus 8. So we're looking at 18 total electrons. And that means if it's neutral, we also have atomic number 18 for 18 protons. And so it's argon. And argon is in 8A group and period 3. Now, you also maybe could have just looked at the 8 here and realized that the highest energy level is 3, and there are 8 electrons in it, so it must be period 3 and group 8A, right? So you can see how there's kind of different ways to think about this. And there's the answer. All right, do the third one. Okay, welcome back. Atomic number 7. It seems like the best approach here is to probably just go find element number 7, right? So if we do that, we see that it's right here, and it's nitrogen. And element number 7, nitrogen, is in group 5A, period 2. And so it has 2 electrons in the n equals 1 energy level, and 5 electrons in the n equals 2 energy level, but 0 beyond, for a total of 7. All right, and the last one, now that we have the third one, we see very similar, right? Same group, 1 period past it. All right, so go ahead and answer this one. And you could just look 1 down from nitrogen, right? Because it's group 5A, period 3. So that's perfectly fine. We know that It's now we now know that it's phosphorus. But we could also think we know that there has to be a 5 here, right? Because n equals 3, 5a means there are 5 valence electrons in n equals 3. And then these would be full. So the 5a from 2 to 3 makes the 5 here shift to here. But now we can fill it in any order. We know that it's element number 15, so it has 15 electrons. We also know that 2 plus 8 plus 5 is 15, and we know that it's phosphorus. All right, and that's really going to wrap up this lecture. But after this big table here, I wanted to let you know that page 59 has some worked exercises. So basically, it gives you a question, lets you figure it out, but then it also gives you the answer, kind of like we do here in these videos. So there's a couple questions like this in page 59 in the worked exercises, and then also on page 60 in the practice exercises, which are left to you to do on your own, but the answer to the practice answers to the practice exercises are in the back of the chapter, just so you know. Okay, and then we're going to skip section 2.4, but we will talk about half-life, which is at the end of it, in the next lecture. All right, so this wraps up 2.3, and keep working on these problems and check out the post-lecture questions as well. And see you soon.